Listening to that at 12 minutes past 10 is Martin Powell-Davies, a teacher and trade union activist who is running for Deputy General Secretary of the National Education Union. Thank you for coming on the programme, Martin. Do you feel, as someone who's involved in teacher trade unionism, do you feel that schools are well protected against becoming massive spreaders of COVID?
Absolutely not. I mean, the government should have spent this summer getting ventilation improved. They've not. All they've done is belatedly ordered carbon dioxide monitors, which aren't yet in place. And even if they are, then the question is, how do you actually respond to improve ventilation in those rooms that are found to be poor? The mitigations have been taken away. There is not ongoing mask wearing. And the advice that they put out, I don't know if listeners are aware, but the advice says that if somebody, a child, is in a household where there is somebody else in the family that does test positive, they can still go to school. It's a recipe for transmission.
The findings of this poll also suggest that 17% of those parents that were polled say that they won't ever test their child for coronavirus now that school is beginning. What do you make of that?
I just think people are hoping that things can go back to normal without, unfortunately, looking at the reality. And I think Scotland, as has been discussed, is the first warning of the reality. We've now got Scotland with the very high rates, some of the highest rates that have been there anywhere in Britain. And that's very much linked to the return to school. It's inevitable. We've got a Delta variant that is spread particularly more easily amongst young people than we had perhaps a year ago, and yet we haven't got the mitigations in place. So I think mask wearing is in everybody's interest.
But we do have lots of, well, maybe, but as again, Gavin Williamson talks about striking a balance between a normal education and dealing with the pandemic. The protection that is that we've now got that we didn't have last September or even last Christmas is tens of millions of people double jabbed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, and obviously those vaccinations have made a huge difference, and nobody would say otherwise. But the problem is twofold. First of all, statistics just show you that vaccinations aren't perfect, and therefore even a small percentage of a large number of unvaccinated people, somebody's going to get unwell, and the children haven't been vaccinated.
What measures, Martin, then do you want to see brought in, and how long would those non-pharmaceutical interventions, how long would they last for?
Well, I think that depends on the rates being lower, but at the moment they're not. So I think the urgent investment in improved ventilation in schools, we can't just be heading to the winter and telling people they've got to keep their windows open. Mm-hmm. You know, we need the filtration and air purifiers in place. And while they're not in place, then I think, as Scotland did, they recommended that secondary schools returned with mask wearing. I think that's a very sensible idea. And then those at most at risk need protecting. So risk assessments for those that are at greatest risk or live with those at great risk have got to be in place. And if that means people working from home, whether they're staff or students, then arrangements need to be put in place to make sure that that happens. Obviously, people want schools to operate as normally as much as possible, but if the rates go up, that's when the disruption's going to start. So we've got to act to stop that happening.
Martin, good to speak to you. Martin Powell-Davies, you're a teacher, you're a trade union activist running for Deputy General Secretary of the National Education Union. As you